Hello, beautiful souls. I am Rhea Joyner, and welcome to my channel. Today, I have something special for you. I said in my intro video, I talked about my different roles and the things that I like to do, but I didn't go into it deep because I didn't want to, I wanted to have some stuff to talk about as we get to know each other. So, one of the things that I love, I am a numbers person, day by day, or however you want to call it, right? So, I'm a numbers person. And one of the things I love when tax season is over and things slow down a little bit, I like to do I've tried different crafts and things. So, one year I decided I wanted to make custom cakes, and I ended up starting a business with that. Mimi's Tummy Teasers. Check us out. Another year, I did scrapbooking for a while, and I have to tell you how all that started, kind of too. But we'll talk about that on another day. But I always find something that kind of interests me, that relaxes me sometimes. And right now, one of the things I like to do is diamond dots. So I wanted to pull out one of my diamond dots that I'm starting on, and I wanted to be able to, I guess, work on this while I'm talking to you guys and getting to know you guys a little bit better. So let's get started. I didn't want to start anything until we got on the recording, so I wanted you to be able to see the entire process of setting everything up. When you first open the package, you're going to have a lot of little packages of colors. And they usually are not all separated by color like that, but that's fine too. And what I do is I will take each one of these colors and put them into a little container by color, and I'll number the colors. So I'm going to show you how I do that, and then I'm going to come back so that we can start setting everything up. Okay. All right, guys. When you are setting up the project, each kit comes with a diagram, or I guess a legend of the colors and how they correspond with the symbols on the puzzle. And I'll show you that too. Each color has its own number that matches what is on the sheet. And then on the puzzle itself, I don't know if it'll get in close enough to see this, or if you'll be able to see this, but each color is designated a number, or a symbol. So it might be a number, a letter, it could be a question mark, a X, a check mark, whatever it is. It represents that particular color. So kind of like a color by numbers, right? I'm sure most of us did that at some point in elementary school. I know I did. I think I did it before I got to elementary school. So I'm going to really quickly go ahead and set these up, and I will come right back to you. I have separated a few colors just so we can get started, and I can show you how things are done. And I will finish this picture over time, maybe together, maybe I'll do it by myself. Who knows? We'll figure that out later. In order to be able to work on it easily, the best thing to do is to clamp it down. Before I normally do a puzzle, or picture, I will try to flatten it out as much as possible, because as you can see from it being rolled up, it has the little humps in the pages, so they can be a little bit frustrating at times. So I attempt to roll it, like lay it out flat for a while. If I'm working on one, because I've done a lot of these, if I'm working on one, I will lay out the next one I'm planning to work on so it can start getting flat while I'm working on the one before that. Because I don't do this every day, so it could take me a while to finish one depending on what's going on, especially if it's a busy time of the year for me and I don't have time to come sit and do something relaxing. And the self-care part for me is important. Making sure to take time out for self-care is important. And I'm working on that. I'm a work in progress. When you open them up, they come with little bags for you to separate them if you don't have a container like I do. And in that situation, you can open up one pack, put it in the bag, or you can open up a bunch of them at once um, and fill up the bags however you like. Each kit, along with the picture, the diamond dots, it comes with a tray to handle the dots while you're working, a little glue pad to put the glue into your stylus. I think it's what they call it. The stylus to grab the dots when you put your stylus in the tray. So I have one that I already started. I'm going to pinch it down into the glue to get a little dab of it inside the stylus. I hope you can see that. And when I do that, we're going to start off with 310, which is the color black, or if it's not black, but it's very close to it. So I kind of shake them around a little bit so that they are sitting with the sparkly side up. And then I just take the stylus, grab one, and then stick it in a spot where it belongs. So I like to start from the bottom because if you did not notice when I messed with it a second ago, this thing is sticky. And obviously, the more you touch it and come up and off of it, it's going to be less sticky, right? So I try to, when I'm working on it, not touch it if I don't have to. So starting from the bottom, it prevents me from touching spaces above that are still pretty sticky. So while I'm working on this today, we're going to talk about self-care. I just mentioned it a second ago because that's something I have struggled with for years because as a business owner, it's hard to stop work. Well, for me, it's hard to set aside time just for myself because I had boys, because I've been in relationships. You have to make time for the people in your life. I have girlfriends, I'm in other organizations. And so, you make a commitment to be a friend, to be a parent, to be a member of certain organizations, go to certain churches, that kind of thing. So you commit to being present at events and things like that. And so for me, I try as much as possible to be present when I'm in situations away from work. So if I'm out to dinner with my girlfriends, I'm not in my phone. I'm not in the past. I have not been the one to be constantly taking a whole bunch of pictures or texting or things like that. So if you know me personally, you know I'm horrible at returning text messages just because I'm not just sitting in my phone. At work, I'm working. I can't, if I'm in my cell phone responding to text messages, reading messages, calling people, I can't get the work done that I'm working on. So it's either I'm working or I'm socializing, responding, communicating outside of work. Now, when I leave my desk, if I leave my desk at an early time, I will, I will, I will sit down and watch TV in my bed usually, or at, sitting here doing the diamond dots or something like that. I don't It's not often I sit in the living room by myself and watch TV. I do keep my TV on in my office just for background noise. So it's usually on a soap opera like Young and the Restless or The Bold and the Beautiful. Or I'll binge watch a show. My niece and I just got finished binge watching, what was it, P Valley? So I love watching shows and binge watching. I like multiple seasons. My cousin husband said I was visiting them over the Christmas holiday, and he said that he doesn't like to watch TV unless it has a show, unless it has multiple seasons, because, or I think he said he doesn't like to watch it if it has multiple seasons. I can't remember which one he said, but his point was that from season to season, like I absolutely hate watching a show and having to wait to next week to find out what's going to go on. Grew up like that, watching, oh, if you're my age or anywhere near it, you'll remember a show Dallas when JR got shot. And we had to wait a whole forever to find out who shot JR. It was like the biggest, stupidest thing. I hate that. Like, I need to know right now what's going to happen in the next episode. So I myself enjoy binge watching seasons of shows. I've done it for years. I remember when I first learned about the show 24, I think they had already done 8 seasons. I think they had finished recording, like finished the season, the show altogether. And so I watched all of those seasons back to back. Now it probably took me longer than it does now because my job was a little, my business was a little bit different, and the way, and my son was younger, so he had practices and school activities and all the stuff, so I was playing taxi cab as well. But I got it done and I watched it and I remembered all of it because I watched it quickly. Same thing when what is that show everybody was watching where winter was coming? Do you know the name of the show I'm talking about? The show, the one with the people. The one, oh, I can tell you, the one, because the lead actor, I thought he was going to be the star of the show, and he got his head cut off like the very first or second episode. What is the name of that show? It's like got the Targaryens and he had that fine guy. What was his name of the show?
I don't know.
I cannot remember the name of the show. I'm gonna tell you now. I have a horrible memory. I gotta speak up. I have a horrible memory. Okay, so I forget stuff easily. And as you know, if you've watched not any of my other episodes, but if you watch my diagnosis episode 1, I was recently diagnosed with a brain aneurysm. So I blame everything on that. Like, I can't remember stuff. So it's got to be because of that brain aneurysm. Because when I was younger, I could remember everything. Like, I could tell you everything. But anyway, that's not the point. I like watching shows where I can watch them back to back. What is the name of that show? It's going to get on my nerves until I remember the name of that show. And they kept saying winter is coming, and they were out there in the old, like, what? I'm horrible. Please forgive me. This is the real me. So, I don't remember everything. If you can remember the name of the show I'm talking about, please put it in the chat because I need to remember the name of the show. But anyway, Game of Thrones, that is it. Oh my goodness. So if you watch Game of Thrones, raise your hand in the chat because I did not watch it like in the beginning. I literally started watching it after the second or third episode of the final season because my family was in the living room watching it. I think it was my brother. Anyway, my family was in the living room watching it, and I didn't know the show, so I wanted to figure out what was going on, and I cannot watch. I can't come in on something later. I have to watch it from the beginning. So I watched it from season 1, episode 1. And it was a great show. It was a great show. That sexy Jason Momoa was in it. I'm telling you right now. Okay. But it was a great show. And so I ended up watching all the seasons, and I was able to watch the final episode of the whole series live when it aired, however many weeks it was later, because I went through it fairly quickly. And I want to say they had like 8 seasons, 7 or 8 seasons. I don't remember. If you remember, put it in the chat. But I like to watch stuff. What was my point in all this? When I sit down, when I come to bed at night and I sit down, I don't, most people, I'm not trying to text that late at night. Now, if it's somebody I know and I know they're up or I'm not going to wake them up, they'll see the text when I wake up in the morning. Like one of my best friends, she's a school teacher and she's in the bed sleep by like 9 o'clock. Like, I don't know how she does it. I don't even have dinner by 9 o'clock, but I'm getting better. Okay. So, with that in mind, I notice she'll see the text as soon as she wakes up in the morning. Also, my other best friend, she gets up early in the morning as well. So she'll be up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. She's getting up around the time I'm falling asleep. So I may respond to those text messages in at late at night so that they'll see them in the morning. But most people, I don't do that. And I also don't like to open the message until I can deal with it. Do dot is gone once you open it. So then if it doesn't have a blue dot, I'm going to forget about it to go back to it to be able to text maybe the next day or over the weekend or whenever I need to respond. So there is a little system to my madness. It's not, it's definitely, I'm not acting like it's perfect at all. I'm not in any kind of way saying that. What I'm saying is, unfortunately, I'm still working out the time management part of that. So if you are my friend and you text me and I have not responded, I love you. But, or family too. I will get back with you soon. I do try to return all of my calls and texts though. It just may take me a minute. Anywho, when I get up in the morning, I'm usually begging for sleep. Not like I'm not that person that wakes up in the morning. I'm like, oh, what a great sleep. I want to get up and face the world. That is not me. I'm that person pulling the blankets over my head so I can get 5 more minutes, snoozing my alarm every 5 minutes, which makes no sense because you ain't going back to sleep in 5 minutes. So what's the point in snoozing it and then it's waking you up again in 5 minutes? There's no point to it. But in my head, it is. I get a little bit more sleep. Then once I wake up, I lay in the bed and do my Bible study on the Bible app. And from there, I try to do whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing that day. So I'm supposed to get up every morning and walk. I started out with 5 miles, started out with 1 mile, got up to 5 miles a morning. Then I quit or stopped for whatever reason and never really got back on flow. So now I'm supposed to be working on my diamond dots. Now I'm supposed to be getting back on my routine of 1 mile a day for this week, and next week go up to 2 miles, blah blah blah, until we get back to five miles. To on today, I literally have already missed one day this week. So that is not good. I'm trying to be a better person. I am not in any way, shape, or form on this site pretending to be perfect, pretending to be a guru in anything. Like, I do know a lot of stuff. Don't get it twisted. But that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, in this space, I want to be able to have people that can relate to what I'm going through and can get something from it because we've all been through things. We all have information to share, things that may help other people, and we may not even know it, to be honest with you. So that is one of the reasons I think I mentioned before that I wanted to start this page, to have a community of people. And I am hoping that you will click subscribe so that you will get notifications whenever my videos go up so that you can be a part of that community. So back to my stories. I'm trying to do these diamond dots and talk, but I don't want to ignore looking or communicating with you guys while I'm working on these dots. My self-care routine is non-existent. As you can imagine from what I just said, I get up, drag myself in the morning out the bed, go to work after I get dressed, if I work out, blah, blah, blah. leave the desk. Most of the time, I'm coming straight back to my room, laying in after I get ready for bed. Which by get ready, I mean maybe shower, um, and put on. Well, I ain't gonna say put on that. If people are around, I'll put on some pajamas or something. If people are not around, then I get in my bed. So the part of the facial routines and hair routines, like this big bush of curly hair is natural other than the color. I do color my hair because I like the color, but I don't like, you don't see me in the hairdresser. You don't see me with the little fresh little styles where they twisted and cute and all that little stuff. That's not, I can't do it. Sitting in the hairdresser for hours, sitting under that thing for hours, like it's too much. It is too much. Those of y'all that do it, y'all's hair be gorgeous. I'm telling you, it be gorgeous. I just can't sit there and go through that. So 2 or 3 times a year, I might get my hair straightened in order to, for most of the time, like I'll do it for my birthday, I'll do it for special events, but and usually those special events are not going to be in the summer because, as you know, this stuff ain't going to stay straight as soon as some sweat hit it. So my birthday is in the first day of winter, actually, so it's usually cool at that point. So it might last a week or so, and I'll get it trimmed and that kind of thing. A lot of times when I straighten it, it might last for a week or so, but normally it does not because I'm not good at wrapping hair. I'm not good at wearing that bonnet. I can't do the bonnet. It's too hot. It's too hot. I feel like I'm the only person on this earth who gets hot in the middle of the night and I'm kicking the blanket off. And then 5 minutes later, I'm putting my legs back in the blanket and it's just like goes on all night. How can I do that with a bonnet on? It makes no sense to me. I don't know how other women do it. Like, I want to learn. So I am going to be looking at some YouTube tutorials on how to do stuff because I need to learn. Like, my mom is costume designer. So as a child growing up, she was traveling the world making costumes for different plays and shows and all types of stuff. And I grew up in DC, so we would go with her to the theater. Like, I remember seeing the Czar's, I think it was the Czar's Bride. It was a opera, and it was probably, no offense to whoever wrote it, whoever likes it or whatever, but it was probably the most boring thing I'd ever seen in my life as a kid. I think I slept through most of it. I don't understand it, none of that. But like, that's the kind of stuff I was exposed to as a kid because my mom was in the theater. I remember going to Warner Theater as a kid. Those of you that are in DC, you will remember Warner Theater. They used to have all, actually, they might still, because I've been away from DC for a minute, but they might, they had shows and movies. I remember seeing the girl that was in, what is the movie, I can't remember anything, the movie where the girl ran and jumped in the guy's arms and they were dancing and she had her arms out floating. Anyway, her dad, I think her first name, what was her name, something Gray, Jennifer Gray, was it? I don't know, I'll look it up. But her dad was doing a play in DC and I got to meet him. I met Jennifer Holliday. I met Stevie Wonder. I met and protested with, oh my God, what was his name? I'm gonna have to think of that one too. My mom met so many people and worked with so many people, and it was really cool. Um, it was Dirty Dancing was the movie, and her name was Jennifer Grey, right? Jennifer Grey, I think. So it was Jennifer Grey in Dirty Dancing. I met her dad. He did a play in DC when I was a kid, probably by 11 or 12 or so. Oh, I saw Fiddler on the Roof. I saw the Nutcracker many times. One of the plays I got to see as an adult and took my oldest son. He was young at the time. We got to see Lion King on Broadway. She did not actually do the costumes for that play, but some friends that she had worked with before, they did, and they got us tickets and passes to come in, and the kids got autographs and all types of stuff. So anyway, back to life. So my mom worked a lot. She traveled a lot. She, another story for another day, but she was raising my brother and myself by herself. When we were in elementary school, we moved from North Carolina to DC. And so she had to work multiple jobs to pay bills in DC. Anyone that lives in DC, New York, New Jersey, California, those types of places, well, actually everywhere now, but you know how expensive it is and how hard it is to take care of kids, as a single parent. And so she was always working to be able to pay the bills, to make sure we had lights and and water and food and all that kind of stuff. So she was not there to give me lessons on regular women's stuff. Like I don't recall ever talking about, and this probably is TMI for this conversation, but I don't ever recall I don't ever recall like having conversations. I remember when my menstrual cycle came and she told me about it and what it was and all that kind of stuff. But like the intricate parts of managing it, I don't recall having in-depth conversations about any of that. We never talked about sex. Sex was not something I talked about with my mom. And so, if you're not talking about with your parent, you're talking about it in the street somewhere with your girlfriends, with your big cousins, whoever it is you're talking to. So there are a lot of things as a woman now I look at and I realize, okay, are there other women that do the same things, or are there other people that do the same things? Because it could be some things that men and women do, especially now with skincare routines. Guys are just as much into them as women are. I found out one of my nieces, has a 10 or 11 step facial routine that she does every morning and every night. Man, I'm lucky if mine is one, washing my face, pretty much. That is about it. I am not, and as you can see, it probably shows because I don't wear makeup much. And that's something I feel like I should be doing as a grown woman, to look more polished and more professional, maybe. But at the same time, I feel like it's a lot, and it's a lot. Am I wrong? Put it in the chat. Tell me what you think, because I just feel like all it like I feel like it's a lot. So with this process of sharing and growing and journaling or vlogging my life at this point, I want to improve in those areas. So with the self-care, whatever that involves, besides doing arts and crafts, because I'm not artistic. I very much just do regular stuff. I like puzzles. I like scrapbooking. I like the diamond dots. I really love doing the specialty cakes, and I'll share that with you guys one day. But that requires space, time, and if I'm gonna be doing it, it costs money. So if people are ordering cakes, like I did a Louis Vuitton luggage cake one time for a girlfriend of mine who's also a client. I did, I did a pot of spaghetti cake. I did a plate of pancakes with butter on the top cake. I did a sewing machine cake one time. That was one of my favorites. And I actually walked in the house with the sewing machine cake, and the person whose cake it was thought I had her actual sewing machine that I was walking in the house with. So that was really cool. But I really like doing stuff like that. But though I don't come up with them, like I don't create them. I will find a video. Oh, like I said, um, once I talk about the cake, learning how to do the cakes and how I did the cakes and all that process, I'll talk about her page. But there's a YouTuber. She does amazing cakes, and I used to follow her pages and I would get her, follow her videos and copy some of her cakes. Now, her cakes, like I said, are amazing. And I feel like mine were great because I pay attention to the details, but they weren't as great as hers. Okay. But like I said, I'll show you some cakes in the future. Maybe he'll slice in a few pictures of cakes while we're talking today. And you can see some of them that I have done in the past. But other than those types of crafty things, I don't feel like I do too much self care. I will occasionally hop in the tub and stay in there for hours and watch TV or play on my iPad or something like that. That is probably the most that I consider self care. Going to get my nails done or my toes done, to me, that's not relaxing. That is a necessity. Like I have to do that. I want my hands to look nice. I want my toes to look nice. So that is not me like, oh, I want to go relax with the girls and get my nails done. No. Now, I do enjoy going out with friends, family, your partner, having drinks, alcoholic or non, and and engaging each other. So having conversation, laughing, talking, listening to music, those types of things. I call it fellowship when we fellowship, like in church. Not really in church, but you know what I mean. Get together, socialize, kind of enjoy each other's company. I realized how important that is during COVID when we lost it, and how much it affected me not being able to hug my family or see my family in person. It was stressful. I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree that that entire COVID period was stressful, right? So I did have to deal with that in a different way until we could actually get out and hug each other and love on each other and just appreciate the people that you still have in your lives. I was watching the church sermon from my church this past weekend, and he was talking to members that were like 80 and above, and the older members, and he was asking them how it felt to wake up each morning and how they felt each morning when they woke up, and they were like grateful or excited or just happy to be alive, because everybody doesn't wake up every morning. And we don't want to get a phone call where it's somebody we love or somebody we know that did not, and we haven't had an opportunity to say the things we wanted to say to them or spend the time we wanted to spend with them. So those are the types of things I try to pay attention to now. I that for me would be a great way of self of providing self-care. That's what I feel. Now, there are a lot of different ways that people talk about doing it. Some women like shopping. I hate shopping. Some women like spas, or I love to travel, and I do like pools. Like I like to travel to places where they have swim up bars where you can get drinks in the pool and you can just sit out there and get a suntan. Like when we go on trips out of the country, I have a girlfriend, she has her own travel business, and so she used to plan trips every year for couples or individuals to go, and she would take anywhere 15 to 20, 25 people on a trip out of the country, and they would do excursions and all of these different little activities. I don't want to do all that. I want to go to the bar, not the bar. I want to go to the pool with the swim up bar so that I can enjoy the music, enjoy the atmosphere, and just relax. Like that is what I call self care. Unfortunately, that is not something you can do every day. Most people don't do it every year. I would love to be able to travel on trips like that. I want to do it 4 times a year, go on vacation 4 times a year. But at the same time, it's like, how do you do it? Like my brother and his wife, they've been married for over 20 years, and they make a point every year to go on a vacation, just the two of them, and they have children. So I thought that was cool, especially in this place of being married for over 20 years and still having that fire in that their marriage. I was just talking about this recently with them because it's really cool to see that. Like you see people that have been married for 20 years, and I don't know, you could have been married for 20 years, whatever, 10, 15 years, and it's just not that same fire. You've moved it, gone in different directions. Like you don't even have the same chemistry anymore, and people get divorced or separated or whatever the case may be. Man, they act like they just got married last year, and it is so cute to watch. But they are funny anyway. I love my family, I love my friends, and apparently, you guys have joined the crew of people who I talk to and share with. So, I need some ideas of some things that we could talk about in these talks. I need some ideas. Oh, I need some self-care ideas. Like what do you feel are great ways to enact self-care? Comment in the chat like what ways you provide self-care for yourself or you suggest to other people. Also, if you have stayed with me through the end of this video, comment in the chat. Let's see, what should we comment? I like bubbles. Let's do like, do they have like a bubble bath emoji? Bubble emoji, maybe some peace, juices, hands up, two in the sky. Um, yeah, comment in the chat with the bubble emoji and a pink heart because I love pink hearts. Pink hearts are bestest. Have y'all seen that commercial? Oh, okay. I'm supposed to be saying bye. But have y'all seen that commercial where the two guys are sitting there eating the gummies? And he's like, I love the red ones. The red ones are what it said, what did he say? Gooder? Goodier? But no, not better. He said like gooder. The red ones are something. It was so cute. But I don't know where that came from. Pink heart, make sure to subscribe, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and mark the notification bell so you can be notified when I put up videos. Once a week, Thursdays, 10 a.m. So give me some self-care ideas. Let's start this one, the self-care journey together, and create some time to make time for ourselves. All right. Have a wonderful, super wonderful, amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.